In 1855, a man named John Little, who had escaped slavery and fled to Canada, was reported to have said, "'Tisn't he who has stood and looked on that can tell you what slavery is. 'Tis he who has endured." Only those who endured slavery can answer the question, what does it feel like to be someone else's property? The opportunity to learn from thousands of people who had endured slavery in the United States was almost lost. In the 1930s, President Franklin Roosevelt created the Works Progress Administration.
My most immediate concern is in carrying out the purposes of the great work program just enacted by the Congress.
A network of hundreds of agencies designed to put to work the millions of Americans who had lost their jobs in the Great Depression. One of these agencies was the Federal Writers Project. It employed writers, editors, historians, and researchers, more than 6,600 in number. Led by noted folklorist John Lomax, the Federal Writers Project was sent across the country to record the histories and experiences of everyday Americans. In 1936, the Federal Writers Project, or FWP, had an active African-American unit who took it upon themselves to interview former slaves. They sent these interviews to the Washington office for editorial comment in March of 1937. John Lomax and his associate director, Sterling A. Brown, immediately realized the importance of preserving the story of slavery as expressed by its survivors. The formal collection of slave narratives in this country began on April 1st, 1937, and ended in the spring of 1939. At that time, almost 74 years had passed since the end of the Civil War on April 9, 1865. The majority of the former slaves that the FWP interviewed in the 1930s were children at the time of emancipation. For the most part, their stories recall their time spent in slavery as children and teenagers. These stories provide us a glimpse of the heroic efforts of millions of individuals held as property in the United States for hundreds of years. Their voices reveal the strength, spirit, and endurance of the people who were enslaved and forced to provide the free labor that built the foundations of this country. The statues you see around you represent these former slaves as they were at the time of their emancipation. Children. Whitney presents the stories of these children as told in their own words. Read them on the Wall of Honor, which records the names of 354 enslaved individuals held in bondage on this very property. Read their words in the Gwendolyn Hall Alley, a memorial field that names and honors over 100,000 individuals held in slavery in Louisiana before 1820. Remember that in the Field of Angels, which records in public for the first time the existence of over 2,200 children born into slavery in St. John the Baptist Parish. The tour that will introduce you to this property is the story of the lives of the enslaved workers based on the recollection of those who endured and who shared the stories of their lives as children in slavery. The children will tell you their own story. Their words will help us all understand the strength, spirit, and hardships of those who endured slavery. Welcome to the Whitney.
It just used on us today, y'all.
Right.
Every Wednesday and Friday. Last minute of the news. What happened? What goes on every Wednesday and Friday?
Nah, right. At my school, we have to wait outside.
Be my woman, girl, I'll be your man. Be my woman, girl, I'll be your man. Be my woman, girl, I'll be your man. Get this $100 in your hand, in your
records on the walls are very incomplete and shoddy. They may or may not know the child's name. If they know it's there, if not, they're called things like Little Negro Corpse, Little Slave Girl, Little Mulatto Child. They may or may not know how old they were, who their mother was, or exactly when they died. If they know it's there, if not, they left it out. The records are Catholic death certificates. The church demanded as part of the Code Noir that all enslaved people be baptized Catholic. And that's why they also somewhat kept the records of their death. It was the Catholic Church that first sanctioned this form of slavery as we know it. In 1452, Pope Nicholas V issues a papal bull that states, if they're not Catholic, or if they can be considered savages, then any Catholic has the right to place that human being into perpetual slavery. Authentic, yes. This cabin here and the one next door, they come from the Milligan Red Plantation, and that's our parking lot. The other ones, they come from out there in Terrebonne Parish. This has been lived in up until 1965.
Over me, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. Over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my own grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more weeping, don't you know? No more weeping. No more weeping over me. And before I be a slave.
Now this house today, y'all, has central air and heat in it. But this house has had air conditioning since the day the Africans built it. That's what keeps hitting the stroller right there. When this house is built, the Africans always build facing the body of water. 2 rows of trees in the yard. All the doors and windows in this house, front and back, line up. And this house has no hallways, stairwells, or closets inside of it. When the cool breeze blows off the body of water, it's directed at the house by the trees in the yard. When you open the doors and the windows front back, that cross breeze blows through the house and takes the hot air out the opposite side. The Africans leave out hallways, stairwells, and closets because they trap heat inside of the home. Not because of taxes, y'all. That's a myth. They're taxed at certain points, certain places by how many rooms were in the house. But hallways, stairwells, and closets didn't count because the Africans never put them in the houses to begin with. You can't
in my own grave. Go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Freedom. Oh, freedom. Freedom. Over me.
I'll be so glad when the sun go down.
When the sun go down.
I'll be so glad when the sun go down.
When the sun go down.
I ain't all that sleepy, but I wanna lie down.
Just wanna lie down.
I ain't all that sleepy, but I wanna lie down.
Just wanna lie down.
I wanna lie down, baby. I wanna lie down.
Just wanna lie down.
I ain't all that sleepy, but